We did not sound like anybody else. That was part of our problem. We were like misfits, and I think that's why we kind of aligned ourselves with other misfit bands. The underground is where all of the magic and the creativity is happening, and you know, it percolates, and then sometimes some of it gets up to the top, and that's what the normal people drink, and they're like, oh, this is really good, you know, but they don't really understand all of the energy that went into creating that little bit that they taste, you know. I had somebody from a very prominent band at the time, the bass player, come up to me after a show that we played with him and say, hey, you play pretty good for a girl. They had a house down in the Central District, like by the power station down there. And it was right across the street. It's still there, and it's a really weird house, but it was a bunch of people just living there, and yeah, they all played music, but they're all about 10 years older than me, so they were all about 26 to 30, and I was like 16, you know, and I just started playing with them. So the reason I started playing bass was I was playing guitar. This is before I'd actually joined a band with any of them. And I went to a party with them in some trailer, and I have no idea where it was, like out in the middle of nowhere. It was like literally a trailer park, and it was a trailer, and it was hilarious, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And they were all gonna jam, and everybody played guitar, everyone. There was like maybe one drummer. Nobody played bass, and my friend Jeff was like, hey, why don't you play bass? So I played bass, and I loved it, and ended up just only playing bass for the most part for the next 10 years. I actually played bass a little bit differently too. I'm kind of more of like a lead bass player. Like I don't just hang back and do rhythm. Like I tend to be more aggressive with my playing. Like in Jessamine, I usually played the melody, and then Rex, guitarist, would play like accents and noise. I started out with a crappy Yamaha that I got at American Music. And I remember them being total dicks to me. They were just like, hey, can I help you? And like doing all this, like explaining everything to me. And thankfully I had my friend Jeff with me, because he was just like, he just cut through all of their crap and was like, okay, this is what we need, and blah, blah, blah. Because I really didn't know that much about instruments at that point. I was still learning. But yeah, they did the whole like, whoa, you're a girl in a music store thing, which doesn't happen anymore, I don't think, at least here. But back then it was everywhere. I mean, every time. I got so sick of it. After a while, I was like, I would just go in and I would just have my like angry face on, you know, like just to keep them away, you know, like don't even, you know, and they come up with, hi, can I help you with something? And I'm like, you know, no, I'm fine. I know exactly what I want.